Hey guys, this is your July 2018 reading for Cancer, the zodiac sign of Cancer. I just want to say a couple things real quick before I start with this. Like, share, subscribe, comment below if this resonates with you, hit the bell. I'm going to be adding in my PayPal link, not just for readings, and I am still updating my description box because there's things I've been learning in the meantime while I was gone that I want to offer now. My life has also evolved, so I wanted to update that, blah, blah, blah. It's in the works of changing and putting together different services, packages, all of that. But I'm wanting to make this my full-time job, like what I'm doing, because it's something that it is my calling. It's what I'm supposed to be doing, and I want to make this the main part of what I do. And not only, yes, does it help me, but it's really there to help people also along their journey and this journey, and just kind of the giving of my energy and my time in a way to give out that energy to receive back. I want to keep that flow within the universe going. And I'd rather do it with something that I love, by helping people, and that I was called to do within my mission and my higher self path. So I'm going to put in there my PayPal link, and not only so it's easier for, if you do want any of my services or a reading, a private reading or something like that, but also if you feel inclined to donate to my channel, just to make it easier to keep this going to where this is what I'm doing for my job. Even if it's something as little as $1, even 50 cents, whatever. I mean, a quarter. I mean, whatever you feel inclined to do, just as gratitude, not only to help support somebody who is on this journey and wanting to help others on this journey to make this part of the new world, but also just the appreciation to continue the flow. I'm putting my energy of flow out into the universe, and to keep that, flow going and not to stop it or impede it. If not, either way, it's still appreciated for you to be here on my journey with me. That changes nothing at all. I just want to know that option is out there for people wondering about that, or questioning about that, or how they give back, for gratitude, or even just to keep the exchange of energy going. So enough of that. Also, I'm thinking of ways of putting together other packages so that, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of ways to upload videos in different ways to assist where I can keep doing this for a living. But I don't want to take away also from my content, for my subscribers now. So I don't know. We'll see where that goes. It's kind of a side note. I probably didn't even have to say that, but just telling you like what's in my thoughts, what I'm thinking, how can I really provide the best services to really help people, because that is what I'm trying to do here, as well as continue the flow, of what I've learned along my journey, and keep this going, because, this is my path. It is my mission. So anyways, we'll get sooner into that. Just keep all that in mind. But we're going to get started on your reading right now. I see what is going on here. I don't know the exact full details. I mean, obviously I'm not going to know every little detail anyways, but I'm not going to know more of it until I really get into it. I mean, that's really how it works in a lot of ways. As I'm talking, a lot of times it drops and I channel. Cancers. This is a heavy energy. It's not quite as heavy, at least not at this moment, as Pisces was. I really feel like the earth signs and water signs are just really getting it. Especially water signs. They're feeling it more because they're more on an emotional level. I think the earth signs are feeling it more on that physical body sensation level. I don't know, I guess they probably all are. Maybe fire signs are really getting it, and that kind of fire feeling spent, like their fire has burned out kind of way, and air signs, their minds are probably just reeling like hamster wheels. So I guess we all are, but I would say, I don't know, just the earth sign, or the water signs really are like, I don't know. It just feels so deep, like just being surrounded in water, to be honest with you. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it's just so true. Like it's just heavy. I feel like everybody, so many people are going through like release lessons. And I don't, maybe just the month of July, I don't really know, but I don't think I've gotten a message so far that hasn't been somewhat like that. Maybe Capricorns haven't, but theirs seem to be flip-flopped from the reviews I'm getting, where half of them are what my reading was, and then the other half are like, pfft. So, anyways, let's just get started. In the center of your reading, you have the Devil card. I can just really see why I got like so many things about doing a Cancer reading. This energy, you know, this energy of just being chained and stuck and not wanting to be. Whether it's internally or externally, and it's probably both, because that is what the Devil card is. It's feeling chained and bound within. And so of course that mirrors in your outside world. It's being stuck to something that you wish or you want it to end. You feel like you don't know how. The only reason you don't really know how is because you haven't really made that final decision that you don't completely want it anymore. There's still something in you that's holding back. And this is going to be different for different people, because I feel different energies on this board. Some people have taken action, some haven't yet. Some are putting out one front, but internally feeling another. Either way, you are wanting to take action to stop this, but you don't know how, or you don't know if you can. Like, you haven't made that full decision to stop. Or you have stopped it. You have stopped it in a physical 3D way. At least that's where it looks like right now. But if you were to look at your internal world, it doesn't really match that subconsciously. And then for the very small amount of you who it has, and you are just done, you're in the like knocked down, not being you. Like it has tore you down. So you're in the tower has happened, everything's been wiped out, and you haven't even gotten started rebuilding yet, because you're still in the laying flat on the ground, and like you don't even know if you can get up, and to be honest, like you're not even trying yet. Like you're just feeling it all. You're just taking it all in, just taking it for what it is. You don't even want to get up. You don't even have the energy right now. You just want to lay and relax for a minute. You're just like, pfft. Yeah, let me move on. What's crossing this, of course, is the world. The end of a cycle. What's crossing this is also not knowing what you want. This is actually funny, now that I'm thinking, it's coming back to me now. Because when I had done the Cancer reading in, I don't know if it was November or December, it was a big reading about what do you really want, and not putting it on the other person, because if they don't know what they want, it's going to mirror like you don't know what you want. And if they're doing stuff to you, it's clear they don't know what they want. But if you're staying there and sticking it out, even though you're being treated or going through things you don't really want, it means you also don't know what you want. If you want more detail into this, go back and watch my Cancer reading. I believe it was the one in like, it was November or December. Either way, it was like only one other one. But go back and watch the Cancer reading from a few months back. I took a little hiatus because of stuff on my journey during my awakening process and everything like that. So it's not like you have a lot to pick through. It's literally like it's November, December, or January. I don't know, either December or January, actually, I think. Just, you'll find it. But anyways, go back and look at the Cancer reading, because I get from this also not like the ending of a cycle, or like not letting a cycle end on whatever realm, whether it's 3D, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever. But it's also like, what do you want? I feel like you're getting closer to it. I think you're closer to it now than you were a few months back. But either way, you're still not completely sure, especially considering the fact if you were, this wouldn't be in your crossing position. So like I said, you might be closer though, because you might have started taking action and taking steps. And it's just, there's still stuff going on internally, or stuff in the physical realm to still wrap up, or something that this cycle has not been able to completely close. And I say that too because, which I'll get to it, but one of your kind of, I don't know if it's clarifiers, I just wanted to stick out to the side that's kind of clarifying one of your cards for how you see yourself, is like this guy kind of having made a decision and knowing where to move forward, and he has the world in his hands. So, maybe you're in the process of closing out your cycle. Maybe you're trying to decide how to close it out. Maybe you're trying to decide, some of you are still trying to decide if you want to close it out. If you can, do you really want this? Is there still hope? I think the vibe I'm getting from this reading is that Cancers have lost their hope. For the most part, Cancers have lost their hope. I think they're just at that release phase, and enough's been enough. Maybe even starting to like focus on money, because just love hasn't been that kind to you lately. Or it might be a forewarning, like you have, you know, 4 cards, that's scholar, someone researching, looking into things, money, sweetheart, and foe. So, you know, it might be somebody who you start being like, screw this, and you start looking and doing things with your money and working on that, because all this other stuff's just crap right now, and you just want to focus on something that just isn't so trying to you, makes you feel better about yourself. So you go focus on that, and it might like bring, because now you're focusing on yourself and you're pulling your energy back, it might actually bring in this same person or somebody else who is trying to like get you to focus back on them, or not want you to rise, or now they think they want to rise with you because they see you rising and doing something. but I don't know if it's just really real or if they have like ulterior motives or something. You know, you've got foe, like something you cannot trust. In your foundation, underneath it all, you have the Three of Swords. So, you know, in your more distant past, or in the foundation of all this reading, you have heartbreak, mental anguish, just too much mentally on your plate, but in a way where it takes from you or depletes you, and not in a way that gives to you or energizes you. Because if you think of the Two of Swords, it's somebody who is resting and at peace and kind of going between thoughts, maybe even trying to make a decision, trying to use their intuition to do it. Because it's okay, you know, you had clarity with the One of Swords, the Two of Swords, now you've got something else. So you're like, it's not that bad yet. Let me just listen to myself. And then the Three of Swords is like really just sitting there trying to use your intuition. Doesn't work. You're just so bogged down. You're just so like mentally, to the point where it gets you to now the Four of Swords, and you are just total rest, relaxation, trying to rejuvenate yourself mode. Like you are not, nope, not dealing with it, pulling back, thinking on my own. This has knocked me down. It's just so much mentally on your plate that is just starting to almost discombobulate your own thoughts to the point emotionally it is hurting you. It's kind of the way I look at it. I mean, chances are it's everything, but for the main part, I think it's this situation or this person. It could even be a job. You know, maybe even that with the scholar, the money, the sweetheart, the foe. Like, maybe you're wanting to change jobs or change what you do for a living, or your work, you don't like it, they don't treat you right, and either you want to go somewhere where you're treated good, or now that you're thinking about leaving, they're like, no, don't, we need you, blah, 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 but it's really just to impede you in your growth, or they're being selfish, they don't care about their happiness because they don't know how they're going to go on without you. But I'm going to focus this mostly on a love reading because that's what I feel like most people's is. So if this applies to some other way in your life, please just take the overall message and apply it to your situation. Let's all keep in mind also that this energy can flip-flop. So I'm going to say it as you, as the Cancer. If I feel inclined to change it, I will. But if I say it's you and it's somebody else, just put it to them. You know what I mean? Like, let's remember where our heads are at while we're watching these readings. Like, we know the deal here. We know the energy can flip-flop. We may not even resonate with you at all. We know that only one part might resonate with you. I may say it's your man, it's your mom, or your dad, or your brother. Like, just we know what's up, guys. Okay? We know what's up. In your recent past, you have the Hangman, the Three of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles. So, you know, this kind of, to some degree, matches where you see yourself now as the Four of Swords, because, you know, you kind of just, this really just took you down, and you're like, this just isn't working. It's too much. There's no way I can keep going like this. I can't do it. And like I said, this is so much on your plate, especially mentally. Of course, you know, probably has a high likelihood, especially with the rest of this reading, of being a third-party situation in some way or another. Even if it's not another person, it could be someone works too much, or they hang out with their friends too much, or whatever. But yes, could be very likely third-party situation. But nonetheless, so much so that it is just so mentally boggling and overwhelming that it is weighing down now your emotions are becoming in turmoil. In saying that, because it got you to that point, you realized you could not stay there, you could not sustain that, that was not healthy for you, you were not happy. I need to put myself in hangman mode. It could have even had like a little awakening for you or a shift in perspective, because it might have been such a traumatic, like so much turmoil or traumatic experience for you. It might have put you in a little awakening state or something. Either way, you put yourself or you were put into a situation of looking at the situation differently, from a different perspective. And you're wondering, and I see this in different ways. I see this, you're wondering now, how do I move forward and rebuild in a way that is of balance and even give and take? Also, is there a way, one last effort of thought, is there a way to come back together with this situation? Another indication, another three of a lot of threes. What is the other one? 3 of Pentacles? No. 3 of Pentacles, 3 of Cups, 3 of Swords, 3 of Wands. You have all the threes. The only 3 you don't have is like the Empress, which, to be honest, is the energy you're moving towards. You have the 3 of Swords, you have the 3 of Wands, you have the 3 of Cups, and you have the 3 of Pentacles. I mean, for one, 3 is about creation and harmony. You need to think about how to change a situation in your life or yourself to create better harmony. But considering all the other stuff on this table right now, it is very safe to say that there is a large amount of you that are dealing with some type of third-party situation. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a person. It could be somebody has a kid that is causing, a teenager that's causing trouble between you guys. It could be their job causes a problem. Their friends cause a problem. Or they're just sharing their goodies with somebody else. Whatever. Trying to figure out, is there a way to come back and collaborate and cooperate, maybe get rid of this third-party situation and be more on a balanced, even take, balanced playing field. Maybe I need to focus this energy on work. Maybe I need to totally take myself out of this situation and restart with somebody else with this energy. Either way, however it applies with what you're thinking, and to be honest, I don't think you're having one thought process. I think you're so just discombobulated by this point, you have multiple thought processes going on, which also is very indicated in the sense that most of your cards are swords and fire. You don't have a whole lot of cup cards, and you don't have a whole lot of earth cards either. So you don't have a lot of like grounding. You don't have a lot of your elemental cards. You don't have a lot of the water, which is your element, and you don't have a lot of the earth element, which is your opposite element, your complementary element. You are completely out of your league right now. You are completely discombobulated, where you are not in your normal thinking or acting or just whatever process. You are mostly thoughts and fire. So you are mostly mind all over the place, impulsive action. Just literally like a chicken running around with their head cut off. Literally, actually, like this devil energy. This devil energy, to me, really, and I know this is a Capricorn card. I know that represents, like, Capricorn as an earth energy. It's also a Saturnian energy, which is very parental. So you're probably learning a lesson here. You're probably learning a karmic lesson here going on. This is a karmic lesson for you people. But anyways, this energy, to me, really wraps up, in my mind, the sword and the wand energies. Very much of a mental, being mentally stuck and being in such a fear-based mentality, fear ego-based mentality, that you are just in being impulsive. You are just like reacting. Like almost like somebody going through a narcissistic withdrawal, actually, or like c-ptsd. But we don't have to go there right now. At the very least, you are like not listening to your intuition and not grounded at all. Just mental, the word I want to say, I'm going to choose not to say. Sounds like mental buckery, but, you know, just your mind is so twisted up and not thinking properly, and also because of that, you are on like animalistic instinct, fight or flight type stuff, that you are just acting impulsively and not thinking. That will eventually get you somewhere you want to go, but I just have to say, I've been in that situation before, and the damage that does in the meantime makes even more stuff you've got to work through. So if there's a way you can kind of calm back down, like just, even if you have to force yourself, just calm back down for a minute. And that's another thing too, like, look, this is how you think you are. This is what you think you're doing. You think you're resting, you think you're backed off the situation. But in all actuality, it seems to me like you're not. Whatever you're doing is creating and ended up putting you in a mental gymnastics that leads to being stuck and acting only out of reaction. Like not being grounded in any way, shape, or form. Not sitting, like, I don't know, like so much so that how you see yourself as resting and, you know, I've made a decision to move on is almost like you are in a, you are being delusional at the moment. I think you saw something and like you had some type of realization and it just like, boom, like your mind is, and you just like, just took off. Whether you haven't done it physically yet or not, you just took off. You just reacted. It just blew your reality. You didn't feel safe. You didn't know if you can get out of it. You didn't know if you could survive. You knew there was no fighting it. There was no rationalizing this. There's no way you could be in your emotions about it because there was no doubt you would drown even though you're a water sign. You couldn't ground yourself because then you'd be too scared that you would stay too long. You felt you had to be in this fight or flight reactive mode. Like literally, like, and I don't know if I'm blowing this out of proportion or not, but literally like if you were being chased by a bear or a cougar or something, you're not going to sit there and see how you feel about it. You're not going to sit there and try to ground yourself and say, okay, now, what is the best way to go about doing this? No, you're going to take off. You're going to go because you know there is no safety in that. There is no grounding in this situation. There is no talking it over with the bear. There is no how do you feel, how do I feel, let's just stop for a minute, take 5 breaths in, take 5 breaths out. Like, that was not an option here. That wasn't an option here. Just piece of advice too on that, if you are kind of out of the situation, really try to work on reeling yourself back now. Because, again, for personal experience, it takes a while to get yourself out of that. Because even though you know it's somewhat over, your body keeps telling you it's not. And then your cortisol is at like this heightened state. And because like your body becomes discombobulated, you shoot yourself into adrenal fatigue. I don't know, like with me, my sugars went all over the place. Your hormones can go all over the place. Your sleep patterns, you can't sleep because your adrenal fatigue, it switches off your was it circadian rhythm or something? Like you're more sleepy during the day and then you wake up at night, like you can't even sleep at night. You're like panic attacks, anxiety. Maybe that's why I feel more anxiety coming into this. Like anxiety, panic attacks. Your cortisol is okay, listen. I'm gonna say this because I really feel this. I do not know if you're still in the middle of this situation. I don't know if you're still getting yourself out of it. I don't know. So you put this where it needs to be, whether you're about to start it, you're in the middle of it, or you just got done doing it. Either way, your body is starting to go in this fight or flight mode. And it is no wonder that you are feeling discombobulated. Why you are in mental stuckness, yet impulsive reaction. You are literally in fight or flight mode. You are just taken off. Like, I'm out. But yet you are doing it in such a way that you are telling your body there's a bear chasing you. And I don't know, maybe somebody is chasing you. More times than not, it's more in our head. And I don't mean like this situation is good for you. I mean, this type of situation, what I feel like you realized, this type of situation, and this is part of like a narcissistic withdrawal and part of a c-ptsd, it causes a level of paranoia because of the mental manipulation and reality that you have been in for a while. And when you've been in one reality, okay, and all of a sudden you get this shift in perspective and you see a different reality, it's like dreaming. And dreaming that you're in this meadow. And I'm not saying this is what it is, I'm using this as a metaphor. So you're in this meadow with your family, and it's beautiful, and it's amazing, and it makes you so happy. Like, it is heaven on earth. And here you are, sleeping, dreaming about this, only to wake up and find this guy staring right in your face just like that. And he's like, ha ha, you're a damn fool, and I got you. I showed you this, and you just wanted to act asleep to it for whatever reality you were trying to sell yourself because of your own past wounds. And you just experienced so much drama and trauma that it put you in this state and made you realize something. You saw that warp in your reality, and you woke up to this guy staring right in your face just like this and rubbing this in your face. I've been there. I know what that feels like. I know how that sets off everything in your body that all you need to do is run. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter how. All that matters is that you do. I'm going to say this because I'm hoping that I can save some people from having to have as an in-depth journey about it as I did. It was beneficial, and if it was meant for you, I can't take it away by saying this. Most of the paranoia that is going on is in your head. I am not talking about an abusive relationship, and I mean physically abusive. So if that's the case, yeah, you need to go. Still, you're going to have a level of paranoia that is in your head, but yes, that is a little bit higher of a degree of intensity there. But mostly what I'm getting from this, for the most part, except for the few that might be that other situation, is the reality check that you got about realizing that you thought you were sitting in a nice park with little bunnies and squirrels and everybody singing Kumbaya, and you woke up to your head being in a lion's mouth in their den. Most of what you're going to be experiencing is a paranoid state. Yes, you do need to remove yourself from it. It is that realization of danger that you have woken up to. And I pass no judgment on this, because when you have this moment, like, just, you may not be able to think properly. But if you can find a way to slow yourself down and even just think for a minute and know, like, tell your body, I see now. I know that this situation is not safe for me, and I do need to remove myself from it. I'm doing it. I thank you for alerting me that something is wrong. But you can relax and slow down now. I have received the message. And that may or may not work, or it may take so many times. You are actually going to have to act. Don't ground yourself and not act. But it's the thing that your body is trying to let you know something's really wrong. You gotta go. It's putting you literally in fight or flight mode. And you, to some degree, have to be a higher conscious level of saying, yes, I know. Like, I'm getting out. I know. Thank you for letting me know. And if it doesn't calm down right away, just be there with yourself and have compassion that your body is working through it. Eventually, your body is going to know that it's okay and the danger is over. I will say, I'm not a doctor. Check with your doctor with things. Check with your allergies, everything like that. I'm just telling you what helped me. I have no responsibility over your stuff, but for me personally, a keto diet, switching to a keto diet, and I do try to mostly do vegetables I've switched to eating like a really little bit of meat. And I try to make it the cleanest amount of meat and like ethical and hormone free or whatever. But either way, my body became so haywire and out of whack. It didn't know how to process anything. I went into a pretty bad state of adrenal fatigue. So, the keto diet really helps with that. It helps really kind of reset your cortisol. Maybe look at adaptogen type herbs, tinctures or herbs. Holy basil is a really good one. There's a couple others, but I'm not going to recommend them because they could have a little bit more side effects. I'm not even recommending this. This is just what worked for me, and I liked holy basil because it seemed to work better and not have as many possible side effects that I had to worry about, which for most people are not a problem, but for some, and I just didn't want to have anything else to worry about. Because when you get like this, you worry about everything. You worry about the sky being blue. You know? So, trace minerals help a lot. They are amazing. Like, when you have a really bad case of adrenal fatigue, I mean, it messes your cortisol, your energy levels. I mean, your body literally starts to eat at itself. Its muscle, its bones. Like, I literally got like craters in my 2 front teeth, which have healed themselves. Which, that whole thing about once your enamel's gone, it never comes back, that is not true. There's ways to heal your teeth and regrow them. If the whole matrix is gone, it's a little bit harder. But if you just have some little or a little cavity that come out, wherever, your teeth can regrow themselves, including your enamel. Don't believe that. It's not true. But the trace minerals helped me with that. My hair was like falling out. My nails were like so weak, like they couldn't even grow. My teeth have filled back in, the enamel. But either way, it was eating at itself. So trace minerals is amazing. Magnesium. I would probably prefer for you guys magnesium malate. I'm going to do a video on this too, just, you know, and show like the products I use and stuff like that, because it's pretty important to me. Most of the people in this world have no idea they're in adrenal fatigue, and they are. I'm sorry if I'm taking away from y'all's reading, but I feel like this is very important for a lot of you guys. If you get magnesium, like make sure you get like magnesium malate or magnesium like glycerinate, or it starts with a G or something. Most of your magnesium sources, just in your normal places, they're magnesium oxide. You're just shooting your money right down the toilet. They don't even replace stuff in you. You don't want to just go with like magnesiums, like the sodium magnesium or whatever one you can use. I can't think of the name of it. It's basically like why can I not think of it? Epsom salt, basically. You don't want to use that. You're just gonna have like a laxative effect, like even earlier. The magnesium malate or magnesium like glycerate or whatever, it starts with a G. You just look up like best bioavailable magnesium sources to take, and something like that. And magnesium malate and magnesium like glycerate or glycinate or something with a G, they're your two best ones. Like they help amazingly with anxiety, giving yourself back energy up, because the more in a even fight or flight or stressful situation you use, it uses up your magnesium level. So you want to be replacing that. B vitamins, amazing. Absolutely B vitamins. Daily vitamin. There's also something, I haven't taken this yet, but my acupuncturist, and I'm going to start taking it, like Cerephos, that may be something for you. But either way, I'm going to go on. I'm going to do a video on this, but adrenal fatigue is a major thing. And this type of situation is exactly the type of thing that just throws your adrenal fatigue into not just a mild case where you can just keep going. It knocks you down. Anyways, boop, back. So, yeah, something happens. You really have some type of thing that you really realize something, and now you're like, I've got to rebuild. I'm not sure exactly what that looks like yet. I don't know how, but it has got to be something with a stronger foundation, a better balance, something with more even give and take. A healthier reality. Maybe even this initiates a creative side in you and you do something different for a job. This might be people about your life. You don't want anyone in your life anymore unless they bring this energy. I mean, this is so many things. Apply this energy to all areas of your life, and this is what you're thinking. Okay? I'm not going to wrap up as much time. I could just keep going and going on all the possibilities that this could be. And chances are, it's all of them. You know, and maybe what blew you over the edge too was realizing about the third party, or that it was happening again, or just the level of it. Like, I don't know, maybe there was just, not only did you learn that there was a third party, but you realized, like, man, the degree of it. Like, maybe there was either anywhere from third party to multiple third parties. Somebody had a harem. Somebody had just, you know, like kinky little sex parties and other things they had on this. A whole nother life that you didn't know anything about till now. Damn. What's on your mind or your conscious is Three of Cups. So, third party situation. You just want happy times back in your life. This sucks. Or reunion. It's going to be different for everybody. I hope you're not thinking about reunion, although I have to say I do feel a little bit of that energy on the board. You know, maybe even you trying to think of a way that you can recreate this situation or yourself to where they'll want to give back and even give and take with you. Maybe they might even be offering it and you're like, okay, how can I create this with them now in a way that where they do or they keep doing it longevity wise? Good luck with that. This type of situation, and I'm not going to be the buzzkill and say it could never happen, although your chances are, but your best chance of it is by you moving on, doing your thing, building yourself, building your self-worth, building your confidence. And if you have this person around you in your life, they've got to work for a long time before they can even enter into your life like that. Like, these type of people or situation, like, really time is the only test of truth. And really, actually, divine intervention is the only thing that changes this. And divine intervention could be something as simple as you being like you blow their mind with going. And you blow their reality just like they just blew your reality. But even with that, because sometimes even people have shifts in perspective and then their egos start to build back up again and something misprocesses and there's still a little something there they didn't work out. Time is the only thing that can tell on this, and that's why your best bet is to just remove yourself from it. To be honest, I would even give them a little bit of time to figure out who they are, not even being friends. Because with this type of energy, it is infectious. It is absolutely infectious. And you're not going to be able to know who you are and how you really think on your own without this unless you are away from it, what they call no contact. If you have kids, greystone it, gray rock it, or greystone it. Look those terms up. It's literally like, say if you have kids and you have to deal with them, there is no emotion. I don't care how nice they're being or how mean they're being. It is no emotion, facts only, interaction done. They get bored after a little while. And if you do that and they get bored, then you know they're not any different. Like, let them go be them. And that will give them their best chance of figuring things out. You go be you. Because you don't know who you are. They don't know who they are. How the heck do you guys know what you want or that you love each other or that you want to be together? You don't even know who you are. And two people who are together who don't know what they are, they're either not going to be together or that is going to be one horrible relationship and it's not going to look anything like this, which is what you want. Especially a Cancer. You got to go away. I mean, and I say time too, like, oh, I'll give it time. Like literally, and I mean time. I don't mean a month. I mean like no less than a year even. And even then, it's like that's before you'll even really talk to them. And then you got to decipher like other things. And even then, I don't know. And hopefully within a year, you're going to realize you don't even want them back. Once you finally really find you. Because the only part of you that wants this back right now, it's not a part of you that's really you. It's not really you. It's not the real you. Honor yourself enough to give yourself time to find the real you. Listen to yourself enough and be there with yourself enough to give yourself the time to realize and figure out who you are and what you want. Because as long as you're denying yourself and you're betraying yourself, you're going to be around energies who are going to deny you and betray you. Because they're mirroring what you're doing to yourself. You might also be thinking of the third party situation because it broke your heart. Anyways, those are all your options with the Three of Cups. In your likely future, you have the Eight of Swords. Surprised the Nine of Swords isn't on this table because I can feel it. Actually, I think it's within one of these decks, though. But either way, because you got the Eight of Swords and the Ten of Swords, but you've definitely got the Nine of Swords energy here too. So let's just materialize it in our heads that it's on the board right here. Which I think the later ones I heard from somebody is actually like the Gemini energies, like especially the 8, 9, and 10. So you might like literally not be integrated and be just mentally all over the place, like in a lower level Gemini energy. But either way, you're stuck like Chuck. You are mentally stuck. You are not seeing things properly. You are not thinking properly. I think whatever you saw or figured out blew your mind. And I don't know if it's because you gave somebody another chance and you really believed it would be real, like some reality you told yourself is that it would be real, or you're just now finding it out and it blew your mind. But I just get this vibe like your mind was just blown. And it was such a different reality, like I said, like of this type of, you know, whole crap energy. Just imagine waking up and having this staring in your face. You know, that, you know, type thing. That's what's going on inside your body right now. Like whatever you figured out or saw was like, it just blew your mind. It blew your reality. And when that happens, you're just like this. And the other energy is actually, you do have it, is like this. Or like the King of Wands. Like you're just like stuck and then just like, you know, just reacting and going. But you're mentally stuck. And because you're mentally stuck, and you like don't even know, you don't even trust yourself now. Like you don't even trust yourself to think about things properly. Like you don't even know what is reality anymore. That's how much this blew your mind. My folks, listen, you have had an awakening. Whether it's just a little spiritual awakening, epiphany, or kundalini rising or awakening, or whatever, your mind was blown. Your reality got crashed. You don't know what is up, what is down, what is left, what is right, what is love, what is hate, what is good, what is bad, what is black, what is white, what is fun, what is not. What do you want to do? What don't you want to do? You don't know. You don't know anything. When I got in this state, all I kept saying to I don't know. This is me, straight up. When people ask me things, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. And it almost gets you so much you're just crying and saying, I don't know, because you are so upset with yourself that you're stuck in the state that you can't even tell somebody whether you want macaroni and cheese or broccoli. Because you can't even make a decision. I don't know. Your mind is just blown. It's blown. Have compassion with yourself. It gets better. Okay? Offer help or take help. Please take help, because it will quicken your journey. Talk to people. Share. If you have to, build a community. If you have to, find meetup groups that get together about either trauma or depression or just whatever is up your alley. If you have the resources to go to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, go. If you could do group therapy, go. If you find one for narcissistic abuse, go. If you find one for codependency, go. If you need to find one for even NA or I think it's Emotions Anonymous or something like that, go. Either way, they will respect you with open arms. And here's why too. And I know most people aren't going to go to NA, but NA is really they're welcoming of all things, really. So is Emotions Anonymous, but really it's just about having an addictive personality. And I want to tell you something. If you're in this situation, and I know most of you may not agree with me, but if you are in this situation, and I don't care what side you're on, you have an addictive personality, because you are a codependent or a narcissist. Are actually pretty much the same thing. And anybody who has codependency going on in them, they have an addictive personality. Whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, which it seems like you were with somebody who was addicted to sex. Yours might have been to being addicted to drama. It might have been addicted to being in traumatic things. You might be addicted to food. It might be addicted to being hurt. It might be addicted to a victim mentality. Most people in this world are actually addicted. It's just, does their addiction fit in with society's norms or not? Does it impede with their being able to be functional in life? That is why if all you can find is an NA meeting, you are actually welcome. You do have an addictive personality. And I can't see them turning you away. They wouldn't want, because that's the thing, is if you don't address it anyways, like anybody within the blink of an eye can turn into a textbook addict to drugs or alcohol or whatever. It happens just like that. I mean, you could go from like just having drinks with your friends and like just loosening up and feeling fun, and it's just nothing. You don't even think anything of it. And then something really bad happens in your life like this, and you just don't even think anything of it. You start hanging out with friends more, having more drinks. It relaxes you, it puts you in a better state of mind. All of a sudden your friends can't hang out anymore, but you're getting more anxious because you don't have the distraction. But hey, you could still have a drink, so you start doing that. Then you start drinking on your own. Then you're drinking so much, you're like, well, geez, you're drinking on your own. You don't even need to be around friends. You can just drink on your own, and then you're just drinking and drinking, and then you're just going to work and drinking, and then you're drinking right before you go to work, sometimes drinking on the job. Now you can't even function without shaking, without drinking. I know it's a pretty in-depth thing, but at the same time, that's exactly how it happens. Like, some people start out early and some people start out later in life because life just, like, slapped them in the face. There was a reality they got slapped with that they were completely blind to. And because they didn't see their own codependencies and their own natures and their own addictions. Like, you might be looking at this person like, oh my God, they are addicted, blah, blah. You are addicted too. Watch what you're going to go through as you pull yourself out of this and you try to get used to a life without drama, without being paranoid, without having something else to worry about without your own. Guess what you get to focus on now because you don't have drama? You. You. And your wounds. And your feelings. And your thoughts. I don't say that to be scared. It's the most amazing and the only rewarding thing. And actually, now I understand a little bit more of another dynamic of this card, of what's in your environment or how others see you. But I still more see this as you. What's your environment? It's you that's in your environment. It's you finding your pure happiness because now you're looking within. This situation is going to be forcing you to look within if you're truly escaping in the way I feel like you are. And when you learn that by doing this and going within, and it's going to be kind of scary at first, it's going to be more comfortable at first, but it gets easier, and it gets better and better, and all of a sudden, like, your life just becomes better and better. You become more integrated. Like, do you know that people in this world, like, most of the mental diseases in this world is from people not being integrated and not looking at themselves? Like, split personality is just a really severe case of people who are severely, like, have different facets of themselves that are not integrated. And you may not have, like, it that bad to where you have, like, a major case of split personality, but you may have that as well. You have a mental dis-ease anytime you are not integrated. And really, that's another thing about the Devil card. The Devil card, really what creates his energy is a split between your own energies. That's why you have male, female there. It's your masculine and your feminine side. It is the only way that would create this energy within you and mirrored in your life is by your own energies not being integrated. Your own male and female energy not being within balance within each other. And so I think you find your true happiness, and then it's mirrored in your external after that by going within, going on the self-discovery within, like I was just saying. Because and don't create your own drama. Like, I found that with myself when I first started out. Like, you know, when I was in a situation that was finally either calm or it was, you know, my husband's good to me and stuff like that, I found myself starting to create my own drama, especially with me. I have a Gemini moon. So my mind needs to stay busy. You know, I need to keep it occupied. I need to, you know, learn and grow and put that energy, channel that energy in a positive way. Because that's really what's going on here. Both you and the other person, you're channeling built up energy. It's just most people in this world do not know how to positively channel their energy. And so you just get this stuff. It's actually not a bad energy. Even this isn't a bad energy. It's just represented in society as a bad energy because people don't know how to channel it. They don't know how to transform this into something else, almost like what you would turn into, like, actually like this, like the Temperance card. This is like an evolved state of this, which luckily for you is on the table for you here in a good kind of way. So you'll see that, so yay. But these are the same energy. They do feel different, so don't get me wrong. But this is an evolved state. Somebody who is in this state knows how to channel this energy and has integrated this energy too. So when you can integrate this energy, like integrate these two masculine and feminine sides, integrate your light and your shadow, integrate just all your parts of yourself, you then are able to channel and transmute this energy to this energy. And look who's back in their more watery sign. Look who's more balanced with a stronger foundation. This card isn't necessarily bad. It's just not being conscious enough and aware enough to see how and where you're channeling your energy. Everybody has an energy. A lot of people put this to a sexual energy. Sexual is creative energy. But how are you channeling that energy? Are you trying to be like a teenager and just use it sexually, like truly sexually? Or are you trying to create things in your life, which is another thing? Maybe you seeing, maybe after this video or before this video, you now seeing a different perspective on how to create. Three of Pentacles is also about creation, on how to create in order to have something that constantly gives back, even give and take. And like I said, that it's actually funny. This is almost the undercurrent of your whole reading because you have so many threes, and threes are about creation. This whole thing is trying to teach you, or hopefully, it's funny, it's like, yeah, if you get what I'm saying, like creation. But it's trying to teach you how to look at things differently. This might have even raised like a kundalini within you, that sexual energy. And you might, like, after you get through like the trauma of it, like, be like, you're going to have this like sexual energy coming in, or this rise. And just as a letting you know now, in case you don't pick it up, that energy is to teach you how to do something different with it this time. Don't go find this energy. Use it on yourself, build yourself, and use it to create something that expresses yourself, an outlet for yourself, a channel for yourself, something that gives back and helps create balance for yourself. I'll be right back. Hey, okay, so I'm back. Yeah, so use this energy to create for yourself, and you are going to have to go be on your own to do that, to find out who you are. Because as right now, you don't know. The only one that you know is this reality that you've seen up until then, which recently has been burst. If you haven't gotten it yet, and you just think it's just this person that burst your reality, but you haven't seen yours yet, it's coming. And if it's not, you need to come talk to me. Because if you're only seeing this person's and you start rebuilding without seeing yours and how you actually mirrored him on this, him, her, whatever, and you're not willing to look into yourself, like, don't start rebuilding. You're just going to go through this all over again. But to know who you really are and go within and see yourself. And then that way, when you start to get this rise of this sexual energy, this creative energy. And by the way, numerology wise, yes, threes mean more than creation. But one of the biggest things is about creating and building. Which is like almost like that. But, which is funny they kept trying to go like that. But yeah, it's about creating. It's about now knowing who you are to create in this different energy. But you've got to do some inner work and find out who you are first to learn how. It's almost like the tower moment. I almost get like also the tower vibe from this card. But to how to rebuild. But in a healthier kind of sexually expressive way. Because you know, as teenagers, like, what did we do when we were younger and we got that creative sexual energy? Don't do that again. And even if you're older and you're like, no, I'm not like that. Like, don't. A relationship is not even a creative energy. Okay. It's funny because with your readings, and I think it did it with the last one too that I did of your guys's. Like the spread that I do, like never stays that way. Like I always like, it's exactly like the crab energy. Like I'm just like with all the cards just bouncing as it goes. Like I'm not even going in the way it goes. It's just like, and I think with your last reading, it was the same way. Like I didn't even lay it out in this because I saw it was all over the place. It's exactly like a crab, like how they walk when they're like this, you know, it's funny actually. If I channel any more of that stuff, I will. If you guys need further explanations or help with this, or even someone to talk to from somebody who understands, I'm available. Hit me up in the stuff I offer. But I understand. Trust me. Don't fall victim to this, though. Because if you might in the beginning, but in a healthy way, you're going to end up popping out of that and seeing equally the same with you, and hopefully having compassion for the situation. You will have set up boundaries, but compassion. I hope you set up compassion, because this person, no matter how horrible it seems, they're acting from wounds all the same as you. It's just you guys have coped differently. And you have to see your side anyways, because if you don't see your side, you're just going to keep seeing this stuff. You're not going to be able to heal your own wounds if you don't see it. So hopefully after the part of it, you kind of calm and start to see yours. And that brings stuff up too. That's hard too. That, again, bursts a level of your reality. But, hey, while you're in it, get it over with, you know? Either way, that was a long explanation of you're stuck. How you see yourself, which I've kind of talked about this before, is you have the Four of Swords. And it's like, not like, oh, this clarifies this, which I guess it does, but it's like it wanted to be an offshoot, like this. And then the next one up is like that too, but it's like you're sitting and thinking about either what decision to make, or that you've now seen and made a decision and picked what gives you the world, because this decision, as you can see, it's bolted here. This is just, you're just going to be stuck. You're not going to go anywhere. This decision gives you the world. This one makes you stuck. Stuck like this. Chances are this person or this energy is this wand, the one that's stuck right here. And I have a feeling you've chosen to get out of this. You're either thinking about getting out of this, you're resting after getting out of this, you're trying to figure out how to get out of this. Whatever, whether it's pre, during, or after, out of this. 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 I think you're healing too, but I do think you should move out of it, but don't, like I said, get out, but don't try to make too many plans at first. You've got a lot of reflecting and a lot of things to figure out first. You don't want to start rebuilding. Yes, put yourself in a safe environment, but you don't want to start completely rebuilding until you've done all your work. I'm going to say it again. If you need help with that, let me know, or go to a therapist or go to a therapist. You know, there's certain services I can't offer. Meetings, meetups, healthy friends. You might have to completely let go of any of your friends that are associated to this. This actually, like I know it did in my case, it actually might blow your mind enough where you start questioning everybody in your life. All of your friends you've had, even your family. Like, it literally, because you did not see this, you now reassess everyone and everything in your life. And yes, that's healthy in one way. It's a level of paranoia. It keeps your cortisol levels high, and it keeps you like this. I'm not going to tell you not to go through that, because to some degree, you do have to reassess everything. You kind of do, because you realize that you've been lying to yourself all your life. But you also don't want to do it in such a paranoid way that your cortisol levels are all over the place and you're not balanced. Just so you know. Make sure you talk to healthy people about it, and people that are not codependent themselves. Absolutely do not talk. And if they are, like, make sure they're on a healing journey into where they're aware of it. They're aware of their codependency and they are healing through it. If they're in denial about it, and chances are, if you're codependent and your person was codependent, your friends are too. At least 98% of them are. 98% of the people or situations in your life are that way because they have been mirroring it to you. And that doesn't mean, like, you don't have anyone around you to go talk to, but make sure you're finding healthy people to talk to, because when your mind is not at its best right now, you really want to be careful of the influence that you're bringing in. And I'm not saying this to be in a paranoid way. Just be cognizant of it. Try your best to be around people who are uplifting to you. You don't even want to, honestly, you don't even want to be around people who are negative to this situation, or who are downing about the situation, or like either I told you so, or that person is a piece of crap. I can't believe they did that to you. You don't even want to be around that. You want to be around people who bring you peace, who bring you logical conversations, who bring you upliftment conversations, who bring you hope, who make you focus on the bright future ahead and the bright plans that are coming your way, and not what has happened, or not in the regret of it, or not keeping your cortisol and your stress going because they're keeping you in all of this that you don't need to think anymore about. Your internals doing it enough because your insides are running from a cougar right now. So you don't even want to be, or you don't want to, and if you want to be around the people and they're healthy for you, but they say that, like, and I know your energy is going to be drained, it's going to be kind of hard, but you got to kind of muster it up sometimes and be like, listen, I don't want to talk about this right now. I don't. This is my boundary. It's a hard boundary of mine. You're going to realize you had no boundaries before. You didn't have boundaries with other people, and you didn't have boundaries with yourself. Then you're going to start. What's in your environment, or how other people see you. I've already hit on another aspect of this. You going within is going to bring you this that you've always wanted. However, I also see, when I first pulled this out, all I kept seeing was this happy family and this 10, Roman numeral. 10 meaning the end of a cycle. It was the end of this cycle. And that doesn't mean this is not coming back around. I mean this one, this reality that was in your head. It's the end of it. And you're now going on your own. You're going away from this. And you're focusing on, like, here's the star. Your inner light. Your inner path. Who you are. Your inner journey. And so I just wanted to clarify, because as I started talking, more of this comes up, as it always does. Like, I always get taught every time I do this more and more, like, just to have faith. Like, I try to, like, figure it out, and I just know, like, I figure it out when I start talking. I don't know why I try to figure it out beforehand. But either way, I'm like, let me clarify a little bit more just to see. And then this court card came. See? Court. So, divorces, splitting up, pretty much confirms exactly what I just said. End of this, beginning of this. And this, to me, is more beautiful than this. Actually, in a way, this is actually the precursor to this. So the funny part about this is this actually never was. It might have at one time or served you, but you're realizing now, like, this never actually was even real. The irony of the universe, of what it's going to show you, even though you're not going to see it right now, is that this and going off and being on your own and doing this soul searching and being on that journey, figuring out who you are, what you want, the star, the path, the illumination, it leads to this. So this whole journey is actually a blessing in disguise, because it's showing you what's not real and what's not firm in your life. Like I said, this is like the tower energy. It's taken away and showing you what's not firm and what's not real in your life, so that you can go in, like, have this epiphany, and then go in and do the work and really find this for yourself. Like, you might be, like, really angry at either God or the universe or whatever for doing this to you. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you taking this from me? And really, it's not. You know, it's almost like that footprints in the sand prayer or something. I don't know. Like, every day that, like, some guy and Jesus or something, or God, like, walked along the sand and they'd talk or something like that. I don't know. And then when things got really rough, he only noticed one set of footprints in the sand. And he asked, like, why during the harshest times did you leave me? Why were there only one set of footprints in the sand? And it was, in your harshest times, I didn't abandon you. It was those times that I carried you. And that's why there was only one set of footprints in the sand. It's kind of like this situation. Like, they hear your wish of what you really want. And they see what you weren't seeing. So the situation came and is making it to where it is assisting you and carrying you along this journey and helping you see on how to build this in reality for yourself, so that this can really become a part of your environment. This is a spiritual journey. This is actually assisting you. I know it's hurting your ego. You're going to go through an ego death. And you're like, on one hand, it's not what you want, but be real with yourself. It's what you want. What the real thing is that you want what you want to be this person. You don't want to let go of the expectation or the lie you've been telling yourself that this is the person. Maybe it will be in the future. It's not now. And that doesn't matter anyways, because you shouldn't be with anyone right now. You should not get with anybody for at least a year after this, to find yourself, heal, and rebuild properly, and have learned how to build up healthy boundaries. Or you have a high likelihood of finding this again. But this is really what you want. You just wanted it to be that person. And I have to say, I'm not trying to build hope. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, your likelihood of this type of person changing, pretty much none. Is there divine intervention? Could you possibly initiate an awakening for them because you blew their reality by you leaving? Absolutely. That is highly possible. Just newsflash on this. If they do, if their mind gets blown too, and they all of a sudden come to their truth, you do not want to be around a person like that, or like you even, when they're going through that transition. Just like they're not going to want to be around you while you're going through your transition. That is a recipe for disaster. You thought this was bad, try doing that. Oh, it does get worse. Especially when emotions are stabilizing out because your heart chakra just blew open. Yeah, don't do it, okay? But this is what you want. Have faith, walk forward, learn yourself, and let go of expectation of who or how this comes to you. Okay? In your hopes and fears position, it's not laying where it wants to be because, of course, none of these cards are going the way they want to because Cancers just like to be like that. But it fell like, here's this, and it like fell like this. You might be dealing with another water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. But the King of Cups is also somebody who is of emotional balance. They are still emotional, but they're not over emotional. They have a little bit better of a balance between logic and emotion. But they are emotionally balanced. Even during these turbulent waters and emotions, they are still remaining balanced through it. And it's funny that it fell over this because you're wanting to become not only emotionally balanced again after this, but you're wanting to come back into your own energy, something more of your own energy. I mean, for a prominent water card to come back in, this is a pretty good one to come back in. I don't know if I can imagine, what could this be your fears? Could be your fears. Maybe this person is a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Maybe they cause turbulent waters. So maybe that might be a fear. Maybe it could be a fear. You don't know what you would do with yourself if you did become emotionally balanced. Would you become bored? Hopefully you don't start to become like jaded and fearing like true emotional connections. Don't do that, okay? And that's why you need to give yourself time to heal and find yourself. Because once you truly heal and find yourself and you learn to trust yourself, you'll know how to trust people easier because you trust yourself. The only reason a lot of this stuff happened was A, for learning lessons, and B, because you really didn't know how to trust yourself. And you do now. This is building trust within yourself. Which means you'll trust others better because you'll know how to decipher who to trust better. You'll trust the universe and spirit and your connection more. You'll know how to trust other people. There was something I was going to say, but I can't remember. Something about not becoming jaded and not wanting... Oh, yeah. So I had this realization one time that... I can't remember if I said this in my last Cancer video, actually. That most people, when they think of somebody who is a commitment phobe, they have a hard time committing, or they're even emotionally detached or whatever, mostly a commitment phobe, or commitment issues. They're somebody who what? Like, let's list it off together. They lie, they cheat, they manipulate, they ghost. The list can go on and on. That is not the only definition or example of somebody who is a commitment phobe. Somebody else who is a commitment phobe is somebody who intentionally, consciously or subconsciously, keeps dating people who are not going to commit to them, who are emotionally detached. For this to have gone on as long as it did, there was not only one person who was emotionally detached. There was not only one person who was afraid of commitment. And I don't mean commitment like I'm saying that I'm with you. Like we're boyfriend, girlfriend, like we're husband, wife, I'm committed to you. That's not commitment. That's a facade. Commitment is, true commitment is really bringing yourself to the table with that person. Being able to be, receive, and share vulnerabilities with a person. That is what makes true commitment. That is why our society does not know what true commitment means anymore, and why we have so many things with like infidelity, marriages breaking up, and all that other stuff. We don't know how to handle vulnerabilities anymore, because if we can't even handle our own stuff, how are we going to handle other people's? And the way society builds us up to be is to look externally and not internally, which means you forget and don't know who you are, and you don't know how to handle your own stuff, which means you're not going to truly be able to be there for other people's, which means I don't care how long you stuck around this person or they stuck around you, neither one of you was committed to this. And if one of you was committed, it wouldn't have worked, because the other one who was really committed would have noticed that the other one wasn't committed in a vulnerable type of way. I mean, yes, wounds can color that, and maybe you don't see it properly, but when you really look at your patterns and stuff, you will see you also were emotionally unavailable. This person upheld, not this person, but this person upheld a false reality you were telling yourself. And you were upholding a false reality that this person was telling themselves. It's a dance, okay? It's a dance. So maybe you're actually fearing, like, because of all this, a true, actual, intimate, and vulnerable type of truly, on a deep level, committed relationship. And that's the hard part, actually, about awakening to this. It actually tests you, because you can't unsee what you see. So now you're going to have a hard time going back to this, because it's going to eat you alive. Not only is this relationship going to eat you alive, but you're going to eat yourself alive. Like, in fast. It's not an option, pretty much. So you know, because you see that, your only other option is to be by yourself, which that's probably only lasts a little bit of time. That's going to be sad. Plus, you're cancer. This is what you want, you know? Can't have a family by yourself. So you know that you're really going to have to dip into some parts of you, including your trust, including compassion, including forgiveness, including emotional balance. You have to be emotionally balanced in order to be able to truly come up to somebody like this, or to accept this into your life. True vulnerability. And I mean, regardless of this situation, I mean, crabs have that issue anyways. You know, cancers, the crab, like, they are emotional and gushy, but they have that shell exterior. And it's like, sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. They have a hard time with that vulnerability thing. And you know that. So in a way, you hope for that. You hope to become emotionally balanced again. And you would love to be able to be vulnerable and stuff, and open and really, you know, receiving of this. But like I said, it scares the crap out of you at the same time. Because you know now, in order to have this, because you can't lie to yourself in the same way anymore, because now you're conscious, you know, you're woke, you're gonna have to tap into those fears about you, and learn how to be okay with being vulnerable. Uh-oh, cancers. You'll be all right. You got it. In your likely outcome, you have Ten of Swords, Chariot reverse. Cancers aren't feeling that good, and they're conflicted. And you have the Nine of Wands. You're over it. You have learned how to set up boundaries. You are battled and bruised. You're still conflicted, though. Cancers, have you not taken the lesson of this and gotten rid of the rest? Are you still stuck? Are you still in fight or flight mode? Are you going to be? Hopefully I can say something now that helps this not fully become so. Hopefully you are done. Hopefully you have learned boundaries, but it would be a lot better to see this like this. Done with it, boundaries, integration, moving on. We're going to focus a little bit on this card. I'm going to flip it over for you. Hopefully that changes your energy. But it doesn't help you to stay in this and like this. You've got to do the integration work. And that's why you fear this, because you know in order to be vulnerable you have to do the integration work. We're going to come back to this. I'm going to come back to this. Because you're underneath the cards, or the deck, you have the Two of Cups, which I'm like, okay, this is about a loving relationship. Okay, that's obvious, you know. But then I realized it as I was talking. I was like, oh, I get it. Like, this is about seeing yourself. Like, yes, this is about a relationship. It went south. Soulmate relationship. Could be twin flame. I don't have a whole lot of indicators it's a twin flame, but, you know, who knows. Either way, it is a type of soulmate relationship, but this is really what to take away from this is about yourself. It's about really seeing you. It's about your masculine and your feminine. You know, this reminds me of like Leo up here. It's about finding your heart. It's about finding your courage. It's about healing. There's your snakes. There's like your Kundalini energy. Even if you're not having a Kundalini awakening, you're having some type of rising in you, some type of sexual energy rising in you. Who knows? Within your chart, you might have had Saturn return, which is what initiates a Kundalini rising. It like always happens with everybody. That's why a lot of people actually have like midlife crises. Maybe somebody around you is having a midlife crisis right now, and they just blew up your world. Or you're having a midlife crisis and you just blew up someone else's. And you just found out they had a whole other secret life. Because they're going through a midlife crisis. And have compassion for that, okay? Because what happens when the Kundalini energy rises, it rises within you. And it makes you know who you really are. Like, you don't really know who you really are until that rises. And what a lot of people do is, because it's so hard to change that, or to change the face that they've built up to the world, they try to maintain it. You know, they try to either stay to make the person happy, or they don't want to feel bad about hurting people, or, you know, expectations from, you know, society and all that other stuff. You know, maybe they want to stay because they don't want to hurt their kids. Or maybe they stay because where would you be without them? Or you've been there through hard times with them and they owe you, or whatever the reason, they stay. Or maybe they didn't. They might have either just taken off, or they did stay, but they couldn't hide that kind of desire within themselves, that that building sexual desire. And especially if this is a guy, they might have completely went buck wild on the sexual side and been like, oh my God, like, I'm not going to have sex with young girls again, or I'm not going to be able to have sex just random with people whoever I want to. I'm going to be committed. Like, this is the end of my life. All the fun stuff is over now. I can't do what I want. Like, males kind of take that energy a little bit differently. And eventually they do get to the same creative energy. Some do. Hopefully nowadays with the frequency rising, hopefully they end up getting there and using it in a more healthy way. But a lot of times males, when they first get it, yeah, they really tap into some just really egoic and really lower vibrational and just true sexual, like intimate sexual things, instead of using that energy on what it was really for. I mean, who can judge them if that's what they want, that's who they really are, whatever. But usually it's the first part of it that they think they know what it is. They still don't really know who they are, and they confuse that energy. And sometimes they'll become that and change their life, and they'll just keep going forever. That's who they really are. Sometimes they'll like change and misuse the sexual energy, and then after a little bit, after it settles down, they realize really what they're supposed to do for it. And that's where they might come up and apologize to you and be like, I'm really sorry, like that was a crazy period for me. Or they might not go through that at all and just go through a healthy version of it or whatever. I mean, there's so many options. So like I said, I mean, just with all the stuff with Saturn and Uranus and Chiron and all that going on, and just all the retrogrades we have, it's just recipes for a lot of awakenings. And when somebody goes through a type of awakening like that, like you can't hold it against somebody what they go through. Yes, they can handle it more maturely and not lie to you and hurt you and stuff like that. And that's their own baggage and codependency on just not, they're being scared to be who they are. They don't want to hurt anybody. They want to stay like societally good in people's eyes and all that. They still haven't come to terms with themselves and their own things and being and standing in their own truth. So it's their journey too. Okay. And I'm not making any excuses for anything anyone's doing, but you still have to have your own boundaries. You still have to like pull away. You have to go take care of yourself. That changes none of that. But I just know from personal experience, when that energy rises, it's pretty strong. And I'm a female, so I can only imagine what it'd be like for a male. I'm just saying, like, it's hard. It's confusing, and it really takes like some courage, like this Lion, like the Strength card. It really just some pulling back of your inner desires. I mean, it's hard. I know personally it's hard. And again, I'm not saying that to make anything better for anybody, but if you know somebody who is going through a type of midlife crisis right now, even the fact that you might be mad or them ruining your life, and part of it is justifiably so, but the other part of it is the fact that you are codependent on them too, and that's your bad. You know, that's your thing to heal. This is an opportunity for you to heal yourself and become better yourself. They might initiate this Kundalini rising in you, and you might look back a couple of years from now and actually be thankful that it happened. Because you might actually now really be sitting in this energy. Because you're going to realize that both you guys have almost been like sleepwalking all your life. It was almost like you were walking through a movie the whole time. That's why you almost go to a phase where you don't even know it's real anymore. Because you feel like everything you've been through isn't even real. It's so crazy of a feeling. So I'm just saying, like, try not to hold resentment on that. Like, try to have forgiveness and compassion, because everybody has their own ways of expressing what they're going through, and everybody's wounds taint and color their perception. So anyways, you seeing yourself now eye to eye brings on a new beginning. You know, you make a head over heart decision. You start to really work on yourself, because you can tell that you're conflicted and you've got some wounds, but now you're ready to take charge. You now see things properly and have the tools. And here's that Empress energy I was talking about. I told you it was coming. To rise up and be in this Empress. Like, you're done with the conflict. You're done with the deception. You're done with running away and just the mind, just stuff. You're ready for balance, structure, a strong foundation, good people that are going to last. This is almost in a way a twin flame card, 1111, Doesn't have to be. It's a four of wands too. And you've now seen the lessons, and you know you've got to walk away to like higher spiritual stuff that's going to be more in tune with you spiritually. It could be you that woke up spiritually, and spiritually isn't even just like, oh, like, you know, whatever. It could literally just be the journey into yourself, even if you don't go with any higher power. It's just, spirituality is also it's going within. And because you go and you walk away to find those higher things within yourself or to align above, it turns the wheel. And karma kind of changes. Okay, I get it now. I didn't get these cards down here fully below. So you walking away turns this karmic wheel, and here you are sitting as the King of Pentacles. Here's your tower, by the way. But it's not like you go in a tower after. You might a little bit. You finding this confidence might also maybe see you see things differently. Like maybe you find this confidence and power within yourself, and you even more realize like what you've been missing out on and what you've done your whole life. You know, so this could just be like internally in your mind, just like you just see something different again because now you have confidence. So again, you see things differently because this caused you to level up, and then doing all this work caused you to level up. So then now you have another little mental perception change. It's not going to be as bad because you've been building off like a stronger foundation this time of truly who you are. So it just might be something of you just really seeing now, like just really seeing even more how things were and what you're worth, and just being done with all that stuff that weighs you down. And when you get bullcrap offers and stuff like that, like you're not even playing with it. Like you know what you see, and you know how you're moving forward, and you now know what a proper mate looks like to you, and you know to reject any offer that is not of two people in their power like this. That's going to bring you this as the Ten of Pentacles. That's not going to bring you the victory, the success. Because what you want to be is, ideally, it'd be great to be kind of either in the King of Wands, feeling passion again, because, this is sexual energy, just so you know. Any king and queen in their proper place. But I have to say that you have, and which I'll get to in a second, but you have the King and Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords where you are right now. Dang it. And this is just not in your element. Like, I just don't think that, maybe Scorpios would like being in a King of Swords energy or a Queen of Swords energy. Maybe even some Cancers would like to be in a Queen of Swords energy for like a minute. But I can't imagine, for the most part, water signs, especially Scorpio or Cancers, wanting to be in a Swords energy. Unless like that Cancer, or Pisces even, but they're even softer, really wanting to be in that Queen. I could see like a scorned Cancer woman possibly being in the Queen of Swords energy for a minute, and then it ends up hurting them after, and then they pull back around and go back or whatever. But for the most part, I don't think they like that energy. But either way, so again, this reiterates like turning of the wheel by you going away and finding stuff that more fits who you really are. You have the Wheel of Fortune. This allows you to gain back control and go back to like an Emperor status, which you also had the Empress. You have a lot of things of like couples. And I'm not saying someone's going to come, but I think what it does is it really balances, like this whole situation, if you work this energy right, it balances your masculine and your feminine. It creates emotional balance for you. And because of that, it does bring in, or has a high likelihood of bringing in, a balanced partner relationship, one of power. One that you can grow together, one that you can stand truly side by side with each other and see each other. Because, I mean, you had like the King and Queen of Wands, you had the Empress and the Emperor, you have the King of Swords, the Queen of Swords. So this is a big lesson on, if you really want this, you know, you really have to do this work to go within and balance your feminine and your masculine. Because, you know, leaving and finding something that's more spiritually aligned with you brings in the Emperor energy, that brings in the King of the King of Pentacles, and now maybe because of all the work you've done, this is pray the way, like you are now more in tune with the way of what leads you to like this family life. Like you have wife and you have fortune, spouse and fortune. So, you know, because Cancers, you know, they're all about family and their partnerships and everything. So if you want a chance of finding your Emperor, because that's what you really want, just so you know, like you'd rather have an Emperor any day over any of these kings, because the Emperor is all the kings. It's by going within and doing this work. Because if you don't, this is where you're going to be. Yeah, and you're just going to be like refusing offers. But either you're refusing someone's offer or they're refusing you. Somebody withdrew, and that lit some type of spark, some type of inspiration, you know, some type of realization. I don't know. I really do get an awakening vibe from this, even if it's just a change in perspective, like some type of withdrawal, seeing something, somebody withdrew their love, that caused, you know, the spark. Here's your Kundalini rise, or some type of rise of some sexual energy, awakening, whatever. You realized something, your mind was blew open. This caused a whole lot of havoc and confusion within you. And you're just sitting around cutting stuff out of your life left and right, assessing everything, looking at your whole perspective on the situation, like just thinking about everybody, everything. You're reevaluating everything. And this causes a transformation, a change within yourself. This is the Death card. The same thing you have over here. You go from waiting for things to get better, a cycle ending, it's over, the end of the world cycle, the World card, and now balance. Emotional balance. Emotional balance. It's the end of this waiting. It's ending the cycle, whether you do it or somebody else, and it's actually going to bring you balance into your life. You're going to know now how to move forward passionately. And again, here's your Six of Cups with victory. Here's your Six of Pentacles, even give and take. Here's your Three of Pentacles. Your Three of Pentacles, now creating in a stronger way. And look at that. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Did you have the only queen that the only other suit that we're missing outside of a partnership here is the Queen of Cups. Which is you. That's interesting. You have the Empress, the Emperor. You have the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords. You had the King of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles. I think I said the King and Queen of Wands. And you have the King of Cups. Like literally the only other one that you are missing. This is so profound right now. This is so profound. The only other one that you are missing is the Queen of Cups. That's like so crazy how much is this matching with what I was saying. The only aspect you are missing to your life being like this and having that strong, happy foundation of a relationship you are wanting is you. And I don't care how bad this situation looked or was around you. Everything stems from you and mirrors you. You have got to do this internal work. You have every suit of masculine and feminine thing in this deck except for the Queen of Cups, which is you. The piece of the puzzle that you are missing to this puzzle that you are trying to create is you. It's you. The Queen of Cups. Wow. Maybe keep going with that. I think it says all the same stuff or whatever I've been saying. You have a hair hanging off me or something. What's up with these Queen and King of Swords? What is up with you guys? I mean, I feel like this is the energy you guys are sitting in, so I'm just trying to see if there's something I'm supposed to see more. Like, she's like, what say you? What say you? And he's just like, which is funny that this is on his side because this is a Mars energy and Mars is an Aquarius and this is full on like an Aquarius type energy. The King of Swords. Of like action, like it's retrograde. So like internal action and how you do that. Whether it's, do you go quiet? You know, are you angry? Are you expressive? Mars is the ruler of Aries and the co-ruler of Scorpio. So there's a good chance if there's an Aries or Scorpio, they're kind of getting the vibe right now, if they're evolved or they know they're in tune to themselves, to be quiet during this time because the energy is so intense. They don't want to just blow up or be impulsive. So they may be being quiet, which is really what he looks like. But internally, this is his energy. He's just being quiet, and she's like, what say you? What do you have to say about all this? You know I'm about to cut you out, right? And he's like, well, what's the use of saying anything then? I might as well bypass all of this. I might as well bypass all of this between us. And you're about to cut me out anyways. Which then sucks for you, because you don't get your forgiveness and validation. Let that go. You'll figure that out. Trust me. You don't need his words. You don't need his apology. It'll either come or you're going to get it anyways. Trust me. Don't let that hold you up. Don't let that trap you. Don't let his silence trap you. Don't let his lack of reason trap you. And to be honest with you, anything he says isn't going to make it better anyways. You're going to figure out those pieces to your own puzzle that makes you okay. Just trust me on that. But don't let his silence trap you. Because he's like, I'm not going to talk anyways. It's only going to be like this and you're going to leave me. So what's the point? Why invest myself in that way? Because it's a little bit selfish. There's a little bit of this energy. What's in it for me? Nothing? Oh, never mind then. Just going to sit here quiet. Or he is coming at you like this. And that may be why you're in a fight or flight mode and you're having to like bounce. Because this is what he's putting out into the world, this calm, demeanored, logical face. And this is really his energy. He's scattered. He's all over the place. taking action but not thinking properly first. I mean, I know it's the Knight of Swords, but this is a fast energy. Sometimes so fast that it doesn't really ground itself and relax first. A little bit more grounded than the Knight of Wands, but still it's not quite like the Knight of Cups or the Knight of Pentacles even. So while you're trying to be like fair and reasonable about this, he's just he's just reacting because he's trying to like calm you down and confuse you and knock you down a peg or two and put you back in your place because he got caught. Or because his ego is flaring up. I don't know. I don't want to focus anymore on that energy. So, again, you have another death card. You had like 3 death cards pop up. Maybe you are dealing with a Scorpio. You're tired of being the third wheel. Here's your Hermit again. You had like 3 Hermits. Could be dealing with a Virgo. This might also be the energy that's around you. Transformation, solitude, looking within, self-journey. But you're tired of being the third person. You're starting to realize that, here's another Devil card, that there's a lot of just this going on around you. Like, look at all the people in the background, chained up, naked. There might be a whole nother life someone had just based off this energy. Just realizing that being a sexual object was the most thing on someone's mind. Like, she wanted to talk, and he's like, well, we'll talk in a minute. Turn around for a second. I need to see something. Like, this is the only part of you he's willing to talk to. And you're kind of seeing that now. And not just you either. Like, all these other people, too. Like, if you... And that actually makes sense. That's why you had to pop into this role. Or, depending who you are, this role. Because if you came with any other role other than this, like if you came with any emotions, any like, you're hurting me, or I don't feel good in this situation, or whatever, if you're coming with any other thing but like logic, because they know how to twist logic, and yes, it does end up effectually, like emotionally affecting you, but that's because you are neglecting your emotions. It is mental manipulation mostly, and then it does turn into emotional because you're neglecting it. But it starts out as mental emotion. They know how to twist words. So anything else you come at them, it's like, don't waste my time. I don't have time to talk to you. But yeah, focus on what I said, because they're really good at doing things where they don't actually say it. They do other things, but yet it'll come at you and be like, unless you could tell me something I said, like, don't waste my time. So you got it. That's why you're probably in this role and not a water role. Because you had, in order to even somewhat communicate with them, you had to be in a Queen of Swords or a King of Swords energy. And you just, again, have like 2 of Pentacles. You don't know what to do. Someone doing sneaky stuff behind your back. You're trying to turn your back on them. But at the same time, like, look at him. He's dressed in regular clothes. She's dressed in, like, fancy clothes. So trying to turn your back on him, but at the same time, like, you're still trying to get their attention. Playing hard to get, but trying to get their attention. Which is why the cycle's not really over yet. Because you're not truly done with them. If you were, you would either gray rock them or go no contact. But you're trying to play hard to get, trying to look sexy, and maybe it'll bring them back. That's sad. I hope you're not doing that. Here again, you have the King and Queen of Swords. Look at it. She sees him cheating. Meanwhile, the Queen of Swords is missing something that, here he is in a picture, that really never was and never will be again. She sees him cheating. She sees the truth. Now she's sad. Probably caught him out. Maybe not. Maybe she's playing hard to get and trying to tease him and still entice him back in. Eventually, she'll get to this, though, where he is cut out. Or he's left her, and then she feels even worse because she stayed the whole time, trying to stay by his side. She got left anyways after betraying herself. And now she's sitting there staring at a picture of something that was never real and never will be real again. Even though it never was in the first place. All right, I think I'm going to end all this. Oh, you have your oracle cards are, you have self-worth and space clearing and unconditional love, soulmates. I'll hold them up in a second. Trust, new beginning. Be in nature, but you have self-love, space clearing, soulmate, unconditional, no, that's not how it went. It's unconditional love after that. So you have self-worth, space clearing, unconditional love, soulmate, new beginning, and trust. So basically it's like, listen, find your self-worth, clear out your space of anything that is not about unconditional love, because that's the type of soulmate you want. You're ready for a new beginning. Trust in that, but you're going to have to ground yourself and free yourself first and face your emotions, and then you will find the love that you seek. But you've got to learn how to go within and listen to your intuition and listen to your heart again, and then you have a positive future. But in order to do this, we're teaching you about creativity and the proper form of it and the golden path within. And the golden path within is literally this journey that you're on right now. That's what the meaning of the card is. It's literally like having a type of awakening and walking a spiritual journey and finding yourself in that journey. That's awesome. All right, let's pull a crystal card for you, a crystal healing card, or a healing card. Hopefully we have the time, and then we'll be done. I gotta find a way to either shorten these videos or, I don't know. Well, this is why I said, like, in order to keep going longer like this, to really dip into this energy, like, that's why I was, like, saying about, like, the donations. Like, I love doing it. I want to keep doing it, but I have to work and bring money in, too. So I'm, like, trying to figure out a way to do both. I'm like, well, maybe if, like, somebody could just do, like, $1, like, everybody do $1 a month or something like that, you know, it would be, like, nothing out of your pocket, but still providing, like, the guidance that you need. I don't know. I'm just brainstorming because I want to be able to keep doing this. I'm trying to figure out a way to keep doing it. But yet make it to where I can, you know, and I can, like, survive and keep the flow going of the universe. Cancer, July 2018, please. Shiva Lingam. Not going to read this card, but this is all about, it's a Kundalini energy. What? That's at the bottom of your deck. $22, Rainbow Mayanite, the Rainbow Bridge. This is what it looks like. Take a good look. I'm not going to keep holding it up. Bridges this world and the rest of creation. It heals unconditionally and assists the shift to a new level of consciousness. You are a leader. When you raise your vibrations, the whole benefits. De-energize old patterns. Release karmic incrustations and toxic dross from your etheric body. The crystal will assist in this. Go within to find your rainbow treasure house. Raise your consciousness to build new supportive structures at every level. Exactly. Recognize how your soul is maneuvering you into your true pathway. Apparently, detrimental situations offer soul gifts. Yeah. Re-examine projects and let go of those that are not for your highest good or that of others. You see things from both sides. Always speak true, no matter what the cost, but be tactful. You have a natural healing ability. Focus it wisely. Letting go attunes you to a realm of infinite possibilities, which is funny about speaking your truth, because here's Chrysocolla. just self-love. It's also about speaking too, but self-love, that's also that, you know, self-worth. Self-love comes up. Take a good look. Take a good look. Tranquil and sustaining. Encourage you to remain serene and strong during change or challenge. That's exactly what you need right now. Dissolving destructive emotional program, it increases energy assimilation. You have infinite capacity for forgiveness. Love yourself. If you cannot accept yourself, you cannot give love or accept the love of others. To heal your emotional black hole, connect to the universe love that is inside of you. It never runs out. You can then give love out to the world and receive it with a ever-ending flow. Being able to give, being able to receive. Forgive yourself. Accept with equanimity what you cannot change. Let go of her and rectify situations that can be healed. Be magnanimous. Remain impartial and speak your own truth. Like I said, speak your own truth. And remain impartial. Like, this person might be going through a midlife crisis. Like I said, that's a hard energy to ignore, guys. I'm just saying. But recognize when to keep silent, especially if they're manipulative. Magical rituals may keep you chained to the past. There may be past life trauma to heal around being a woman. Yeah, I can highly see that. Bitterness and self-doubt have no place in well-being. Exactly. Let it go. Don't have judgment. You don't know what they're going through either, even though they don't express it in the nicest of ways, in the most respectful of ways. It is good to nourish your body with self-love and gentleness. All right, I'm going to read it. The Shiva Lingam. It needs to be done. All right, take a good look. Take a good look. Alchemical union embodies the wisdom of the deities brought to earth. It symbolizes uniting dualities and manifesting the creative force. Be compassionate with yourself to heal. You have masculine and feminine and other dualities within your being. Integrate these to release your creative power. A Shiva Lingam is produced from the tumbling waters. Life shapes you in the same way, so go with the flow. Basically, it's shaped through rough things, like chaos, pretty much. And it's a treasure that's formed from it. Blessing in disguise. Soul scoring reveals your divine core. This is releasing your true self. If you were hurt or abused, be compassionate with yourself to create healing on all levels. Get back to basics and put passion back into your life. Honor your libido and creative fire. Create balance. Expect a new relationship or revitalize an old one. This starts with yourself. Don't get it confused. Bring yourself back. This is you and yourself. You and your higher energy, at the very least, you and yourself. Then it will become later down the road mirrored. Don't get excited. Don't get confused. Practice sexual magic on yourself. Do it to yourself. Cut ties where appropriate. Remember, you create the power of thought. Everything passes, this too shall pass. In a turbulent time, unexpected benefits emerge. True relationship transcends earthly experience. It is rooted in soul unification and unconditional love. I'm going to end this conversation, or this video, because time's up and it's a long video and I don't want it to cut off. So I love you guys. If this has helped you, like, share, subscribe, comment on my video, hit the bell, maybe even show me some love, donate to this channel so I can keep providing this type of assistance and going forward and truly giving this time and energy that I'm giving. Show your appreciation, keep the flow of the energy going as I'm putting out, coming in, blah, 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 whatever. If not, still much love, true appreciation and gratitude. I'm gonna try to still be here and do my thing, but I love you guys all the same. Good luck with all this. I truly feel this feels very much like my journey, so if anything I said resonated, if you need help, let me know. Let me know if this helped you or if this resonates in any way. I love you guys, and I hope you have a magical and grateful July. Just because you don't see the reality doesn't mean a beautiful one doesn't exist. Okay? And reality is whatever you make it to be. So if your old one crashed and burned and you didn't like it, just know you have the power to create whatever one you want. Don't forget that. I love you guys. Bye.